You're listening to the PRO Media Network. The next level in entertainment.
You're listening to the Pelicans post-game report on the PRO Media Network for all things Pelicans.
For all things Pelicans, that's right, we are the Pelican post-game report on the PRO Media Network. And we chiming in with podcast 161, that's right, 161 on the podcast, as the Pelicans break that ridiculous garbage 2-game winning streak in a tight battle with the Charlotte Hornets, 119 and 115. AD leads the way, so does Jrue Holiday helps out. In his Robin versus his Batman role with Andy Davis, they get to win 119 to 115 in the Smoothie King Center before they start that really tough road trip. And before we get deep into the game, we'd like to give a shout out to all our supporters on the from the PRO Media Network at the Pelican Post Game Report. Thank y'all for your help. Thank y'all for your donations. Thank y'all for sharing the show with family members and friends and consistently coming back and supporting us. Thank you from the bottom of our hearts from here at the Pelican Post Game Report. And also co-host me tonight is DC. DC is in the building. How you doing, DC?
Oh, I'm all right. I'm just trying to figure out who Rondo is if AD is Batman and Jrue Holiday is Robin.
Rondo is Alfred.
He the butler?
He sets the table.
Oh, man.
So let's talk about our Pelican Post Game Report rundown brought to you by the good folks at theposhlifestyle.com. www.theposhlifestyle.com. Life spell with a Y, LYFE style.com. Go there for all your needs, your health and organic needs. Everything from water filters to organic supplements. And when I say organic supplements, I mean organic, no crap in it, no genetically modified, no artificial crap in it. Organic supplements. They also have great electronics and personal protection devices, stun guns. They have a great selection of downloadable music, EMF stuff to protect you from yourself, your personage, from the harmful effects of the cell phones and other laptops and other devices. If you have a lot of those devices, they have EMF protection in the form of jewelry or either magnets or personal things you can put around your home to absorb that disagreeable EMF stuff. And also ionizers, water filters, women hair weaves and supplies, all the great and beautiful stuff, books and jewelry, heirloom seeds, everything at theposhlifestyle.com. You can get 10% off on the final purchase upon putting the coupon The Sports Coma in there. You get a 10% discount on your final purchase. So all that at the Posh Lifestyle. That's www.theposhlifestyle, life spell with a Y, LYFE style.com. Not just a website, but a lifestyle. Now let's get right into the show. Pelicans 119-115 win over the Charlotte Hornets in the Smoothie King Center. We'll break it down with stats, facts, breakdown. We also have some interviews from Coach AL Gentry, Andy Davis, and possibly Jrue Holiday. We also have some topics we'll talk about on the show. Okafor versus Dwight Howard. That was the billing, although that's not really a matchup, but we'll talk about it. Jrue Holiday, clutch play, Mr. Big Play. Jrue Holiday played really well in this game. He was given the Player of the Game award for tonight, and I disagree with it. He played big, but Anthony Davis should have got it, but I guess you can't give it to him every night, right? AD blocks. I mean, he's back. He's back and he's blocking. He had, 10 last night? The night before last, he had 5 tonight. So AD's back in a major fashion and helping the Pelicans get back in the win column. And good reason to be, because everybody else is starting to win. Minnesota, San Antonio, and the Clippers all won tonight. And as you well know, the Pelicans did drop from number 4 to number 5 in the slots. So we'll talk about that too. What the hell is up with these referees? The Pelicans went to the line 8 times the entire freaking game, while the Charlotte Hornets went to the line 22 times, hit 18 of 22. The Pelicans 8 attempts from the free throw line. What the hell is up with that? There was a stretch of time when they had 30 plus minutes without a foul call, What the hell is going on with these referees? We'll get into that as well. And of course, if you ain't your belly ain't full with Pelican chatter yet, we'll have the Pelican breakdown of the next game against the Houston Rockets. A really tough game against the Rockets. We'll break it down with stats, facts, and we'll offer prediction as well. Now let's get right into it. DC 119-115 win. The Pelicans snap that small 2-game losing streak. Get back on the right side of winning things here as they go 39-28 on the season, 18-14 at home, 1-2, 1 out of 3 at this 3-game homestand. 50% the Pelicans shot from the floor, 41% from the 3-point line. They held the turnovers down to just 12. Although, off of 12 turnovers, the Pelicans still allow 22 opposition points. Just crazy. I don't get it. You only allow 12, but you let them have 22 opposition points. Pelicans did play well. They out-rebounded them.
That's the points we scored. We scored 22 points.
Was that it?
Yeah, we scored 22
okay,
points.
We get 22 points. I'm sorry.
They scored 14.
Okay, so let's look at it like this. 28 fast break points for the Pelicans. 78 points in the paint versus 64 points in the paint was obviously the killer for the Pelicans. But before we play a little from AL Gentry, what's your thinking on this win?
I think it was a good win, but it was clear to me that the referees didn't want us to win. So it's just amazing to see them go ahead and pull that out, and you can kind of see the whole format's lining up against them. It's been like 3 games we've been watching this go on. I think the Pelicans played good though. Rondo and Jrue Holiday played amazing tonight. AD was AD as usual. That ankle I don't think bothering him no more. I wonder if it ever really was bothering him after that game, because he had 10 blocks the last game. He got 5 this game, 31 points, 14 rebounds. Man, he was doing it all. And Okafor actually chipped in and got 14 points. I think as a team, they look real solid, and they look like they got their mojo back, man. We said last show they had to get that confidence back. I think they got it tonight.
Yeah, no doubt about it. This is with this 119-115 win over the Hornets. That do it for the season series. The Pelicans won the season series 2-0 on the.
Still played like crap in the third quarter though.
Yeah, they did. Charlotte put up 27 versus the Pelicans 20. It was the lowest scoring quarter of the game for the Pelicans, and the only quarter of the game that the Pelicans actually lost. So they lost it by 7, but still was able to come through in the fourth quarter, put up about 27 to take the game away by 4, 119-115. Here's Coach AL Gentry to chime in and tell you what he thinks.
Oh, I thought we started out with great pace, and moving the basketball and doing a lot of good things. I think if there was any negative tonight, I thought that once we got up 10 points or so, we always seemed to have a couple of really bad possessions. And, instead of being able to extend the lead, all of a sudden it goes from a 10-point game to a 2-point or a 4-point or a tie game. And those are the times where when you get up 10, you got to be able to create separation. And the only way you can do that is that you got to be able to execute and do all the things that you did in order to get that 10-point lead.
Coach, teams that have watched your team play know that Jrue Holiday and Anthony Davis can take over. They did that tonight, scoring 18 of the last 27. Were you surprised they were able to get loose like that for you?
Well, I mean, the way we space the floor is hard for them not to. And, Drew's been great finishing games for us. And obviously AD is AD. And, I thought not so much his offense, but just his defense on Dwight Howard at the end of the game I thought was really important. And, the block that he had on Kemba, for a shot clock violation was really big. But, as I said, I think too many people look at teams and look at their record and judge them by their record. But it's tough in this league. Everybody talks about the West. The East is the same way. These guys, they're in almost every single game that they play. And, you got to try to find a way to finish games against them. And it's not easy to do.
Is it 29 fast break possessions, scoring 28 fast break points? You mentioned that Utah and Washington, that you can't let the other team dictate your pace. Are you?
No, we have to get back to running, and as you said,
that was Coach AL Gentry with his thoughts on the game.
Utah the
119-115, a win over the Charlotte Hornets. DC, when we look at some of the statistics in this game, and I got to be honest with you, the Pelicans, looking at what they did, 9 of 22 from the 3-point line, although, that's not terrific. That's about 41%.
Not bad compared to 26% from Charlotte.
Compared to that, of course. But if you look at what the Pelicans did in an attempt, they had 52 makes out of 104 attempts. That's a lot of attempts the Pelicans had. To only have a freaking 8 foul calls on 104 attempts shooting the ball, they converted half of that. That's actually pretty decent.
Everybody plays outstanding defense against us. That's foul free. So I just got to give Charlotte credit for not fouling any of the Pelicans players.
Absolutely.
Including Emeka Okafor when he was in the paint and I saw him beating him up.
I remember
but
seeing
apparently
Dwight
it wasn't
Howard
a foul.
I seen Dwight Howard actually throw Emeka Okafor down.
he
the
did?
second time he got caught with a foul. The first time he just threw him, and it was just amazing, man.
That wasn't a foul, though.
Well, let's take a look at some of the statistics before we let Anthony Davis chime in here. Anthony Davis, of course, came back 31. Like I said, came back. He was actually excellent in his game, like he has been pretty
Almost
much
like
all
he
the
never
games.
left.
Right, 31 points for AD, 14 rebounds, 5 blocks, 5 more blocks. That's 15 blocks in 2 games for Anthony Davis. 13 of 26 from the field in 39 minutes.
Could he possibly get the defensive player of the year?
I would. You know what? I would
They
have
can't.
to.
I mean, he might not get MVP because James Harden and they're winning. So a lot of times they want to give the MVP to a winning team if it's that close.
Right.
So can he get defensive player of the year at least?
More than likely, he got to get
give him something.
He got to get something, man. The way he's playing is absolutely out of worldly. How he's playing. Outside that, Jrue Holiday, 25 points for Jrue, 9 assists in the game for Jrue. He has 6 rebounds as well, 11 to 21 shooting, 3 of 6 from downtown, and 39 minutes, 25 points to complement AD's 31. Then you had a pretty balanced effort from Etuan Moore, who had 14.6 rebounds in the game. Emeka Okafor battled with Dwight Howard. He had 14 points and 6 rebounds on the night. Then there was the guys like Rajon Rondo, 12 points, 17 assists, 5 steals, 5 rebounds for Rajon Rondo. He was Mr. Everything, 6 of 13 shooting from the field, 36 minutes. Usually they take him out of the lineup the last couple of games. They left him in there to do what he did, and he stepped up in the major level and did what he was supposed to do. Then, of course, Ian Clark off the bench, 12 points in 21 minutes, and Nikolai Mirotic, 31 minutes, 11 points on 4 of 9 shooting. He had 9 rebounds in a day.
That was a big 11 points, man, because he hit a lot of them shots back to back, but it felt like he had more than them 11 points. It really did. So I guess his points were impactful.
He always plays a high level of degree of play with Nikolai Mirotic. Even when he don't look like his points don't look like nothing. You check his rebounds. He got 9 rebounds. He almost a double on the night. So he consistently in there. He makes plays that don't show up on the stat. Like he challenges shots and guys that don't make layups.
We got to get his defense a little better, man. I think if his defense comes up, he'll consistently see more minutes.
He's a perfect addition to this team. I mean, coming off the bench when you need him, however you need him.
Just imagine him with DeMarcus Cousins back, man. It's almost scary.
Yeah,
you lose nothing when you go to your bench with Emeka Okafor and Mirotic coming off the bench.
The bench is empowered, no doubt about it. Let's listen to what Anthony Davis has to say about the Pelicans winning tonight. Here's AD.
Yeah, take over games. He's been doing it as of late. 3-4 minutes left. He's just been able to take the game over. Had some big shots for us, giving us a little bit of separation. So he's playing like Jrue.
He's used this locker room to thank you a lot of times
Right.
to us. Did you thank him?
Yeah, I'm thanking him. Back-to-back threes, making the right plays for himself or for his teammates, and he's playing at a high level and then going down against stops on the defensive end. He's playing at a high level, and we're going to continue to need this from him.
After those last 2 games, is it good to see the offense kind of back on track where y'all were during the 10?
Yeah. We've been dropping in pace. We haven't been scoring in the hundreds like we usually do. And tonight we got back to it, running. Miss one, we've been able to get out and run, and push the pace. So it was good to get back to that tonight, and then also defending a little bit. I think that's been a key. But even when we don't get stops, we're able to get the ball out and run it back, down the team's throw and put them on their heels. Able to get a good look.
All right, that was Andy Davis, man, chiming in on his thoughts post game about the magnificent win. I guess you could say Pelicans had to sweat it out before eventually they did just enough to close it out to get the win, 119-115, and the way I feel about it, man, to be quite honest with you, it's going to take a lot. It's going to take a lot for New Orleans to be able to to carry on. I mean, because if you can't win at home, they seem more comfortable on the road. But Anthony Davis carrying the team, Jrue Holiday starting to really step up and do what he got to do. Really, really strange to me, man, that the Pelicans can play so well. They had 75 points
in the first half.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And then, they couldn't breach 100 points, in the last two games, and now they 20 points over, and they barely beat this team that usually don't score that many points.
Well, usually most teams that when they're not playing good, they get foul calls.
Emphasize, huh? Well,
foul calls, yeah.
Anyway, we're going to finish recapping this game. When we come back, we're going to give you a preview on the Houston Rockets game and all the other topics that we mentioned. You're listening to the Pelicans post-game report on the PRO Media Network. Stay with us.
Get all the latest news and updates from your New Orleans Pelicans at the Pelicans Eye View, the new and official Pelicans Daily Journal, covering everything Pelicans.
Attention, everyone.
Get breakdown on games, free agent signings and potential moves, unbiased opinions and straight up facts with statistical analysis from G Balance. Go to www.thesportsdaily.com/Pelicans-I-View.
I'm a Saints and Pelicans fan, so the only podcast I can get my fix is The Sports Coma with Big Q. The guy's intense, funny, and they always keep it real.
Check out The Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys.
What's up, sports world? This Big Q from the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys. Talking to you about the website, theposhlifestyle.com. That's right, theposhlifestyle.com. A great website where you can get great products at great prices. They sell organic herbs, vitamins, supplements, water filters for your home, EMF and cell phone radiation protection, healing magnetics and healing crystals, personal protection devices like cell phones, stun guns, and mace sprays, organic deodorants, shampoos, soaps, toothpaste, and more. They also sell 10A grade Brazilian hair. 10A music is available now. All kind of the latest downloadable mixtapes. So what are you waiting for? Head on over to theposhlifestyle.com. That's The Posh Lifestyle, life spelled with a Y, LYFE, style.com. Put in The Sports Coma for the 10% discount on your purchase. It's a win-win. So get your mind and body right with The Posh Lifestyle.
Forget ESPN or Fox. Get straight sports talk from the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys.
You're listening to the Pelicans postgame report on the PRO Media Network for all things Pelicans.
For all things Pelicans, we are the Pelican postgame report, and we are back talking about the New Orleans Pelicans 119-115 win over the Charlotte Hornets in the Smoothie King Center. Pelicans improved to 39-28 on the season. One more win gets the Pelicans to 40 wins on the season. So that's going to be huge.
Thing.
So with that said, of course we played AL Gentry and Anthony Davis prior to the break. We'll chime in with a little Jrue Holiday momentarily. But recap of some of the minutes opposition scoring from the Charlotte Hornets, as their top scorer for the night was two guys. Of course, Dwight Howard played really outstanding. He finished with 22 points, 11 rebounds, and 3 blocks on the night through 34 minutes. And if you want to build the Okafor versus Howard battle, hey, guess what? You might have to get that to the Hornets, but we'll cover that in more topics in a few minutes. Kemba Walker also had 22, tied with Dwight on 39 minutes. He was 22 points, 7 assists, 9 of 20 shooting, 3 of 7 from downtown. 22 points from both Howard and Walker. Nicholas Batum was 20 points. Frank Kaminsky off the bench with 28 minutes, had 21 points in the game. Jeremy Lamb had a 16, made it very close in this affair. Ultimately, Jrue Holiday with a couple of big shots down the stretch, AD with a couple of big stops and plays. The Pelicans were able to pull it out 119-115. Here's Jrue Holiday. Here is Jrue Holiday with his thoughts post-game.
What led you to be so aggressive?
I think when I came off the first pin down and hit that three, I think at that point I felt pretty good. So just decided to be aggressive.
Rondo gave me the ball, so at that point it's kind of a sign. But made some plays happen, got my own rebound. It's pretty cool.
Does it show something that you can close out a game like that? AD has had to do it so many times here to be able to take over for a final minute and show some versatility for this team.
Yeah, for sure. We got a lot of different weapons. We can make plays down the stretch, and we got a tough road ahead of us, but we got to take it one game at a time. And a lot of weight on Anthony's shoulders. So
all right, that was Jrue Holiday giving his thoughts on the game. What you think about Jrue Holiday's thoughts there?
I think he dead on as usual, man. Jrue Holiday is very efficient with his analysis.
How you like that energy level?
I disagree with his energy level. Jrue Holiday be too damn calm. I be hoping he get some type of emotion out of him, but we never do. Jrue be super laid back, man. He must be the happiest man on the planet at home.
Well, let me ask you this. What in particular about the interview that you liked what Jrue Holiday said? What in particular?
I like when he talked about, him in his game tonight, man. Him really coming out and doing what he had to do. Jrue had a monster game tonight. He hit some big shots. He's a very humble guy, so he don't take a lot of credit. He always loves to credit his teammates. But that's Jrue Holiday, man. I really like that about that guy.
That was real good, DC. Very good, man. Got to give it to you, brother. You know how to commentate, bro. That was very well said. Let's move on to some of our topics today. Okafor versus Dwight Howard, the battle between Dwight Howard and Okafor. Now, of course, if you watched the game, they did a pretty good job tonight chronicling the battle, I guess you could say, which is not really a battle in my estimation. Dwight Howard kicked that ass.
Dwight Howard and the dude on the floor?
Yeah, Dwight Howard versus Emeka Okafor.
I like Emeka Okafor, bro.
He won a championship in college, which he got the ups on Dwight being that Dwight didn't go to college. Dwight came straight out of high school.
Dwight ain't been there. She ain't been to a championship nowhere.
No,
other than
that's
high
true.
School.
That's true. But Dwight had a better career than obviously if Okafor with some of the injuries. But tonight,
can pretty much say at this point, Dwight Howard probably will never be on the championship team.
I would never say never, brother. You never
think
know.
Gonna go join the Warriors?
I mean, wouldn't you say that would be a good match? If he could accept
Never
less
mind.
money?
Let me take it back.
I'm about to tell you, never know
that.
in today's NBA. Because imagine with a guy like with Dwight Howard with the rest
That'd
of
be
those
dangerous,
guys.
man.
It'd be
All he
really
got to
terrible.
do is go over there and get rebounds and play defense and
Right.
get trash points.
Right. I don't know if Dwight's ego would allow him. But anyway, Okafor versus Howard tonight, that was what it was scaled at. Dwight Howard finished with 22 points, 11 rebounds, and 3 blocks. Emeka Okafor finished with 14 points, 8 rebounds. But, of course, let's not say it's a battle because Okafor played 26 minutes on the night. Dwight Howard had 34 minutes on the night. So not much of a – you want to mix the numbers up. But
Okafor was the guy put in there to match up against Dwight Howard, so AD didn't have to. Dwight Howard is probably the most abusive center in the league, since I can't say he's the most dominant. We have DeAndre Jordan.
Maybe we can get some
big
of
guy or the biggest.
Maybe we can get some of our listeners to chime in on that in the comment section. Y'all chime in and tell us what you think. Is Dwight Howard the most abusive center in the league? I mean, does he hit people more than anybody
with
else?
Elbows, man. He elbowed the hell out of everybody.
If not, who is to you? And while you're down there, let me ask you this: Is he the most? Is he the what you call it, DC? The most defensive center?
He's probably the biggest body wise center in the league, most physical.
Most physical, biggest body-wise center in the league.
He's most physical.
DeAndre Jordan.
DeAndre Jordan a little bit taller, but who's stronger?
I don't know, but I would have to say DeAndre.
Dwight Howard game ain't strong, but he reckless and he be elbowing the hell out of people. Dudes be getting band-aids and he
swing
throwing
elbows,
people on the ground.
It. So yeah, that's true.
He does that every game.
We're gonna let them chime in on that. We're gonna see y'all thoughts on that in the comment section.
Marcus Cousins the most dominant in the league, though.
Okay.
Nobody shouldn't have nothing to say against that.
Right, absolutely. Let's move on to the Jrue Holiday clutch play, DC. We know Jrue Holiday played pretty good in this game. 25 points, and he also had 9 assists and 6 rebounds on the game in 39 minutes, 11 to 21 shooting from the field, 3 of 6 from downtown. He had that feeling tonight. He chunked in about 25 points. What you thinking on Jrue Holiday tonight? His supporting role, his Robin to Batman, which is AD.
Jrue Holiday looked like Superman tonight. I think it was the Justice League going on, bro.
If Jrue Holiday is Superman, then what is Anthony Davis?
Anthony Davis would be the dude with the kryptonite because he can he can shut it all down.
That would be Batman.
He Batman with kryptonite in his hand. He shut it all down. Man.
I think you're mixing.
He
the
got all the
concepts,
gadgets,
brother.
man. I do what I want. Come on. But Jrue Holiday had an excellent game tonight, man. Very, very efficient game. Jrue is playing to his potential when he has games like this, and I think the key with him is like when he did tonight. Usually when we see Jrue Holiday take about 20 shots, he has a game like this. Other games when, he scores like 4 points, he might only took 7 shots, 8 shots, been out of rhythm, and he loses his confidence. But if he can stay the course, man, and just stay aggressive, we'll get games like this out of Jrue very consistently. So I like what I'm seeing. Anthony Davis and Rondo, I think, have a lot to do with that, and he always credits those guys for motivating him and I think helping him take his game to the next level. Now, I wish Ian Clark could show him that floater, baby, because Ian Clark don't never miss on that floater.
Yeah, that floater something else.
That's another guy who had a pretty good game night, too, we didn't talk about. Ian Clark played outstanding coming off the bench with 12 points. So shout out to you, my man.
Big ups to Anthony Davis as well, because AD is a guy that we're going to talk about in this next topic. As he's back playing I ain't going to say he's back, but in terms of the team is back, I guess you could say, on the winning side of things where they're supposed to be. Of course, they slipped a bit in the Western Conference playoff race, but Anthony Davis, of course, took the game on his shoulder. Had a really big game tonight, scoring 30-plus points, having a really solid affair tonight, DC. Talk about Anthony Davis's contribution tonight.
AD is everything, man. Without AD, this whole team collapses. He's the tone setter. He's the defensive leader. He's the king of the boards. He's the king of rejection. He's always blocking shots. He's always getting steals. Like AD is like the only big man I've ever seen that gets probably just as many steals as blocks. If he blocks 5 shots, he might have got like 3 steals.
Yeah.
It's pretty impressive.
Yes, I got you, brother.
Yeah, man. So AD, big game, but I mean, for AD, is this really a big game, or is this just normal?
I think this is normal. This is his. If we're gonna use Superman and superhero analogies, this is his Clark Kent thing. This is what he can do as
just roll out of the bed.
Game, 31 points, 30 points, 10 rebounds, 5 blocks. And speaking of which, let's add another caveat to the great historical young career of the 25-year-old Anthony Davis. It puts him at least. He put up at least. Anthony Davis put up at least 30 points, 10 rebounds, and 5 blocks for the 4th time this season. That's the most by any player since Shaq O'Neal, when he had 5 points back in the 2000 and 2001 season. So once again,
barbecue chicken, baby.
Barbecue chicken. And that's Anthony Davis. Big up to AD on this fantastic win tonight, and as the Pelicans get back on the right side of things. A little news for you before we go into our topic about the referees. The Pelicans will not sign guard Walter Lemon Jr. back. That's a shame.
Oh, say it ain't so.
After completing two 10-day contracts, the Pelicans will not re-sign
Lemon,
Walter Lemon Jr., and I don't know why the hell not.
Can we just get rid of Chris some more juice out of him, man, and make some lemonade, bro? I don't get it.
Can we just?
That'd have been really sweet.
Could we just put Cooks in the oven and get rid of him and keep Walter Lemon Jr.?
Why
is
are we
Chris
holding on to Cooks and get rid of Lemon Jr., man?
I don't get that, bro. I don't know. But
Cooks hasn't contributed anything the whole season.
He hasn't cooked anything. Maybe he needs some more. That's enough of that stuff. But anyway, let's move on. That's just Walter Lemon.
Maybe he
Sad
don't like
to
to
see
cook
more
with lemons.
I mean, but the thing is, that opens up obviously a spot for an impending role for Solomon Hill due to come back in the day now.
Okay.
So possibly that's probably why they're not going to bring him back. But that's hopefully the Pelicans find a way to keep that brother or bring him back at some point. I really like what I saw from Walter.
Send him back to the D League for us.
So let's move into our next topic here, DC. What up with the refs? What is up with the referees? The referees in this game didn't do a pretty good game in my estimation. They looked at pretty crappy. They only allowed the Pelicans. Let's put this in perspective. The Pelicans, they went to the line not to the line, but they had 104 attempts, field goal attempps. They converted 52 out of 104. That means that's a 50% mark.
Right.
Out of 104 attempts, I don't know how many of them were layups or what have you, but out of 104 attempts, surely you would be able to get at least maybe 15 attempts at the line. Not so much. The referees only allowed the Pelicans to go to the line 8 times tonight. They converted 6 of 8. 8 times. Now, let's compare that to what the Charlotte Hornets did. The Hornets were 45 of 93. They 93 attempts. They converted 45 of 93 for 48%. They went to the line 22 times, converted 18 of 22. Right. What is the problem? How do you only call 8 fouls? I mean, that's what is it? What? Give them 8 attempts from the free throw line, and then there was a span of over 32 minutes that they didn't call a foul for the Pelicans. So I mean, what's the deal with that?
Well, when I say it's not a foul, it's not a foul, fellas. It's pretty cut and dry. You're just gonna have to take it. I mean, it's just basically like mafia rules, man. I don't get it. They just do what they want to do, pertaining to the Pelicans. This is what's been going on, man. This ain't nothing new tonight. This has probably been the last 5 games or so. I keep saying it, and I'm gonna just keep telling people just to think about this. Like, who scores 41 points and shoots 2 free throws? AD did. How the hell do you score that many points? You're that dominant. You going at the team that night. And you mean to tell me nobody ain't following you? Ain't that the first thing you do when you can't stop a player from scoring? Don't you foul him?
Yeah, he was really racked pretty good in this game, more than a couple of times.
He got hit the night before, the night before that. Jrue Holiday almost gets his teeth knocked out pretty much every night. They throwing Okafor on the floor. I mean, it's ridiculous, man. They don't call fouls for us for whatever reason. Maybe they don't want us to win. I don't know. Did we piss the Pelicans off? Is DeMarcus Cousins over there talking crap on the bench and we don't see? Like, what's going on, bro?
Strangest thing in the world, because hopefully this phenomenon changes coming soon, because obviously I hope Gentry complains to the league office, because it's unacceptable.
They've been complaining to the league office, but they can't say anything in their interviews because, if you speak your mind, you get fined, which is the craziest thing in the world. Right. So, I ain't gonna tell grown men they can't say what's on their heart. Like,
referees,
no sense,
referees dominant in the sport. They hold the
mafia.
Let's move on.
Oh, you want to move on after I say? The referees ain't gonna put no hit out on us. It's all right, Q. We don't play ball.
No. I just think we've done enough time on that time. We know how the referees get down. Not allowing them to 104 attempts on the night, and then you allow them to get to the free throw line less than 10 times in one game is we already know what time that is. So let's move on to the next topic. We're going to break down, I said the Houston Rockets, because I was looking ahead to the Houston Rockets matchup, because that's the first of a 5-game homestand the Pelicans have when they take on Houston, Boston, Dallas, Indiana, then the Lakers. But before we get to that homestand, we got to go on the road for one game, and that's going to be a Thursday matchup against the San Antonio Spurs. Now, word on the street was the Spurs. Kawhi is supposed to be back, but they pulled that back. He's not going to be in this game. He's going to be held out this game. So you'll be playing him, LaMarcus Aldridge and all that. And I don't know if you can say yes, because remember what happened the last time. The Spurs almost beat you. They almost beat the Pelicans the last time they played. With LaMarcus Aldridge out. He was hot at first.
Rudy Gay had a really
19
good game.
points for
Tony Parker and Ginobili turned the time clock back.
Right, they carried.
We can't expect all that to happen again.
I don't know. You're talking about the Spurs, so you never can say never. But the Pelicans have to keep themselves together in this matchup, because LaMarcus Aldridge, who played he had 13 minutes in the last game, scored 8 points, and he was hot. They couldn't stop him. He was really hot, and it looked like they were setting themselves up to get a win in this game. So this is a real pivotal, important matchup going against the San Antonio Spurs. We can't oversell this, because obviously in the Southwest Division, of course, nobody cares about that. But the New Orleans Pelicans are a game ahead of San Antonio in the Southwest standings, as they're 39-28, and the Spurs are 38-30, and what is that? A game and a half. I'm sorry, a game and a half in the Southwest. So, but still in all, if you're the Pelicans, you want to keep your butt away from and ahead of some of these other teams, because even if you're looking at the Spurs, you're saying to yourself, hey, man, if we see the Spurs coming and then we turn around and look at the Western Conference playoff race, we slide to the 4th position. This is not a good thing. This is not a good thing, because everybody that's ahead, that's right behind you, won tonight. And I'm not sure about Utah, and I'm gonna check them in just a second. But from everybody's very close on their tail. The Pelicans currently, they slid one spot. to 5. They were 4, and they were surpassed by Oklahoma City. Of course, Oklahoma City starting to build a stretch. They won 4 in a row. Portland's on a 10-game winning streak. The Pelicans finally get back on the right side of stuff. Minnesota won tonight, but Minnesota's on a 2-game winning streak. The Clippers are on a 3-game winning streak, and then Utah did win tonight. Utah won tonight. They're on a 7-game winning streak. The Utah Jazz now are officially in the Western Conference playoffs, top 8. They are now the 8th seed in the Western Conference playoffs.
I think that's a team nobody wants to play.
They jumped They jumped over Denver. They jumped over they ain't gonna say they jumped over the Clippers, but they jumped over Denver. Denver fell, even though Denver won. Denver winning two in a row. San Antonio is out of the playoffs as it stands right now. They're the 9th seed just outside the door waiting in. So this is a very pivotal matchup for San Antonio to keep pace with everybody else. So it's a really tough matchup. Okay, DC, looking at some of the statistics here. New Orleans, of course, averaging 112 points a game, giving up 111 points a game, almost 112 in the matchup. Shooting 48% from the field, 44%. 44 rebounds per game, 27 assists per game, 6 blocks per game, 8 steals, and they're 8-2 the last 10 games. Then you got the Spurs averaging 102 a game while holding you under 100 points a contest, shooting 46% from the field, averaging 44 rebounds, averaging 23 assists per game, 5.5 blocks per game, 7.5 steals per game. And they are not playing that well.
I get the point.
They're 3-7 the last 10 games, not playing that well. But as it stands, Spurs not looking that good. They're not looking that good. They did win tonight, despite the fact, but they have not looked good. 3-7 the last contest. Now, of course, the Pelicans, as it stands, are leading the season series 2-0 over the San Antonio Spurs. What's your take on this game?
I think we continue this little baby mini winning streak we got going on. The Pelicans have always, even when the Spurs were at the pinnacle of what they were, since we had Anthony Davis, we played them tough, man, and we've always played them good. I don't know if it goes back to the history we had with Monty Williams, who was a coach here and came from the Spurs, so maybe we still got some blueprint floating around in the facility on how to beat the Spurs, because we always manage to at least play them tough even when we lose. So I think they go in there and they take this game again. Of course, you want to neutralize LaMarcus Aldridge, which is easier said than done. You can't let Tony Parker, Ginobili, and Rudy Gay murder you like they did last game. And if they're able to do that, I think we take this victory. It's not going to be easy because you're talking about a Spurs team that's well-disciplined. They don't commit stupid penalties. They don't turn the ball over a lot. So you just have to be on your P's and Q's. Be smart. You can't do a lot of crazy plays and wild passes like you had tonight, Rondo. I know you had 17 assists. You did good, my man. But you got to keep a lot of that to the minimum when you're playing a team like the Spurs. You got to play fundamental basketball first, and then you can do a little showing off.
Well, DC, that's well said, because we looking at what Anthony Davis did against the Spurs in his previous 2 games this season, averaging about 27.5 points against his team while shooting 55%. And he also has 13 rebounds, 2.5 assists a game as well. Jrue Holiday averages 19 points, shoots 57% against this team for the season. Etwan Moore about 11. Rajon averaging about 9.5 points, 8 assists, 6.5 rebounds. So they do pretty well against the Spurs. They get up to play the Spurs, no doubt about it. Out of the last 5 times they played the Spurs, they're 3-2. Last 10, they're 4-6, so they're starting to gain ground here. Of course, the Spurs don't have Kawhi Leonard, which is a major portion of that. But in 2 games against New Orleans, their version of the Pelican killer, Rudy Gay, averaged 19 points, shooting 51% from the field, 44% from deep. He was pretty good in the game. DeJounte Murray, the big guard that the Spurs have, he averaged 16 points a game against the Pelicans. LaMarcus Aldridge, not so well, though, 12 points, 50% shooting and 3.5 blocks, and I could tell you why he's averaging a bunch of points. Is a man named Anthony Davis standing in front of him. AL Gentry is 11-27 against the Spurs all time. Popovich is 42-16 all time against New Orleans. So obviously, I do like this matchup. I think it tests the Pelicans' mettle in this matchup. I will say that the Pelicans, they just get up to play the Spurs. I mean, they really enjoy playing the Spurs. I think styles make fights. The Pelicans are made for them. The Pelicans like to run. The Spurs don't. I mean, so that's what it is. And the Pelicans usually they play this team and they like playing them. And I think the Pelicans will get the win. They have to win to keep pace with the rest of the Western Conference. It's getting really tight, man.
Of course.
It's getting tight.
Yeah, it's we're getting towards the end of the season, man. You ain't got a lot of games left. You got about maybe 14, 15 games left. So everybody's scrambling and making that mad dash. You ain't going to find a lot of teams really playing their worst right now.
Well, looking at it, like I said, DC, I'm going to call the game. We're about to be out of here.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm going to call the game, and I'm going to tell you just like this. I think the Pelicans going to get the win here. It's going to be an exciting game, similar to what the Charlotte game is. The Pelicans had to get that transition defense together, and they have to keep those turnovers to a minimum against the Spurs.
Guard the open three-point shooters and make your rotation, please.
They left Frank Kaminsky to a wide open jump shot that extended the game. Had somebody put a hand in his face, they could have ended the game a lot earlier.
They got lazy, man. They thought it was over.
In the threshold of the game.
Yeah.
But that'll do it for the Pelican Post Game Report tonight. Thank you for joining us on the Pelican Post Game Report. As always, you can donate to our channel at www.patreon.com/the PRO Media Network. Support our sponsors at The Posh Lifestyle, www.theposhlifestyle.com. Remember, life is spelled with a Y. And also go join our social media pages at Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. And then at the bottom of our YouTube videos, there are links to all of those things we just mentioned. So from DC and myself, thank you for joining PPR tonight.
Peace.
Peace.
Forget ESPN or Fox. Get straight sports talk from the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys.
What's up, world? This is DC from the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys. Have you ever been sitting in front of your computer screen, or in traffic, tired, lacking energy, feeling drained? Did you know there are electromagnetic fields or EMF waves all around you that cause this disease? Get it? Dis-ease? Luckily here at Posh Lifestyle, you can get your EMF protection. They have pendants, the shell-dyed bricks, cubes, and pyramids. Check out theposhlifestyle.com. That's life spelled with a Y. POSHLYFESTYLE.com for all your health needs. So get your mind and body right with a Posh Lifestyle.
Clear, clean, great-tasting filtered water. We're all thirsty for it. But in the U.S. alone, an estimated 2.5 million plastic bottles are added to the environment each year in search of the perfect drink of water. There has to be a better solution, and there is. Crystal Quest, a leader in the manufacturing of water filtration technology, has been providing clean, drinkable water for 20 years. With a deep commitment to providing the highest quality products and excellent customer service, Crystal Quest has been recognized by such leaders as Consumers Digest, Dr. Oz, and Colin Ingram's The Water Drinking Book. Providing cost-effective, reliable water filtration systems for residential, commercial, and industrial customers worldwide. Offering our customers the cleanest and most environmental-friendly drinking water at a rating of high purity. With Crystal Quest's water filtration technology, you can rest assured that your water will be crystal clear. Contact our network of authorized distributors and join our thousands of satisfied customers.
Just log into theposhlifestyle.com. Once again, that is theposhlifestyle.com.
You're listening to the Pelicans postgame report on the PRO Media Network for all things Pelicans.
In today's world, children are bombarded with negativity on television, online, and at school. Our kids need to have a positive outlook on life and the world around them. I want to share with you a valuable resource you can use to bring positivity into your child's life. It's the new book, 101 Powerful Children Affirmations, a guide to positive child self-image, from author and dad, G.J. Barabino. This is a simple guide loaded with wonderful and inspirational affirmations designed to uplift young people's spirits. This positive and powerful children affirmational is chock full and loaded with wonderful inspirational sayings that will lift your child's self-image to whole new levels through the awesome power of spoken word. 101 Powerful Children Affirmations, a guide to positive child self-image from author and dad G.J. Barabino. Available on Amazon. Order a copy for yourself, your child's teachers, or anyone you know with children. 101 Powerful Children Affirmations, a guide to positive child self-image. Order your copy today.
What is big? Big is taking flight. Big is sending back that weak sauce. Big is ball handling that sets the hardwood on fire. New Orleans Pelicans, do it big.